I don't think I'm ever going to go back to the way it was. You can't even see me right now. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Mindful Homestead. Let me turn this light off so you can see me. Jack here, and I just got a notification on my phone. It's like 8 o'clock at night on a Wednesday. And my phone went off and I looked at it and it was a notification that I got a package delivered down the driveway, all the way at the end, behind the dumpster. This time of year, the UPS and Amazon drivers, they don't like to come up the driveway because it's a little bit icy, snowy. It's just, you know, they don't feel comfortable doing it, and whatever. At the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal. At the same time, a company called ThruNight sent me the light that you see on top of my head about a week ago, and I've been using it just for general homestead things. And I wanted to put a video together for it that wasn't just like a review where I talked about it. And I was thinking about what to do, and all of a sudden I got this package notification. I was like, oh, let me, instead of hopping in the truck and driving down the driveway, I'll throw the headlamp on my head and I'll just walk down the driveway and kind of talk about the importance of a good headlamp for having a small farm or homestead. Because honestly, it's one of those things, aside from a good knife, this is one of the most used tools, or this or a flashlight, having a source of light is going to be one of the most used tools that you have on your small farm or homestead. So let's start walking down the driveway. I'll walk and talk. And then I've got a few of my other headlamps that I use, which we'll kind of do a small comparison on and see how they stack up to the TH30, I think it's called, from ThruNight. Let's take a walk. Something I haven't really talked about on the channel too much is that I'm actually afraid of the dark. And I guess you can kind of laugh at it, but it's just something that's always kind of made me a little bit uneasy. So I've always kind of like gravitated towards having a source of light on me at all times. I keep a headlamp in my truck. I keep, you know, a flashlight in my kind of EDC kit, just a little AAA one, but I keep it on me at all times. Less more so now that I have a cell phone with a light on it, but I still have one around. And on the farm, a small farm or homestead, that sort of thing carries right over, because you're going to find yourself having to do things in the dark, whether you want to or not. And those might involve, you know, you get home late from work and you have to feed your chickens, or you have to repair an electric fence that's gone down in the middle of the night, or you have to dig out a generator. These are all situations, you know, you might just find yourself walking down the driveway to pick up a package that the FedEx guy or the Amazon guy left behind your dumpster. There it is. And there are going to be situations that you find yourself in where you're going to say, oh, I wish I had more light. You know, there are some specific situations where you're going to wish you had less light. Like if you have ducks, our ducks specifically for some reason. I don't know why, but the ducks hate bright flashlights. They will just walk away from it. But generally, your ask is going to be, I wish I had more light. And what I've come to find over the years is that standard headlamps, even if they're, you know, a $40 or $50 headlamp, they tend not to give too much light. Coming back up on that tree that we just had to cut up in the last video that fell across the driveway. There's the trunk right there. And then here's most of the upper canopy. Right on the pile of wood chips. And what I've kind of been doing over the years, living, I guess you could say, tolerating the amount of light that I was getting from name brand headlamps that cost around $40, $50. You know, Petzel, Black Diamond, things like that. But I was also going out and I was dipping my toe into like the cheaper end of like the stuff you find at like Harbor Freight or Tractor Supply, and seeing kind of what those did. Something, you know, around 20 bucks. Not to say anything negative about those name brands from the outdoor world, but sometimes you get a little better bang for the buck, I guess you could say, on the store brand stuff. All right, we're coming back up on the house, so I'll turn the headlamp off again so you can see my face. So what I did was I actually grabbed a few of the headlamps that I keep around. I grabbed a Petzel that I think was 30 bucks back in the day, and I grabbed a Jobsmart from Tractor Supply, which actually has a battery pack that mounts on the back, and I think that costs like 20 bucks. And we're going to do a little side-by-side comparison to see just what you get when you step up to something like this ThruNight, which I think when I checked went for $69.99 on Amazon, and there was actually a 20% off coupon up there now, which means you'd be looking at something like 56 bucks for this, which is not bad at all. So let me grab those lights. We'll walk back down the driveway to where that tree was down, and we'll actually do kind of some real world scenarios where you can see the light that I'm working with. I'll have the camera set to a static mode, and so we can see real light lumen comparisons between the two, how bright they are, and not let the camera adjust automatically. Before we go down there, let me just give you a quick overhead so you can see what we're comparing. This is the Jobsmart light. It's got a battery pack on the back. I think it takes AA's. Yeah, three AA batteries there. We've got this little Petzel, which I've had for years, which takes AA's, 3 AAA batteries right in the back. And then here we've got the ThruNight. I'm using the Jobsmart to illuminate this one so you can see it. But this is the ThruNight here. TH30 V2 is the model of this guy. So let's take these down the driveway. We'll lock the exposure and we'll see what we can see or not see. All right, so what I have on my head right now is the Petzel. I'm going to give you guys a couple different views of this. I got the exposure locked on the camera. We're at 1/50th of a second, f3.5, and ISO 4000. So this is going to give you kind of an idea. You should be able to see with the exposure locked what's going on and what the lights look like, and be able to compare them because the camera's not adjusting up or down to get an optimal reading. So right now the Petzel's on my head. I'm going to do views kind of looking at the camera from standing out here by the log. I'll look over at all this tree that's crashed down, and then I'll come stand by the camera and shine the light over here so we can get kind of an apples to apples comparison. So right now I'm looking at the camera, I'm lighting up the ground in front of it with the Petzel. I'm gonna look over here at the tree, kind of light it up a little from the front, and then we'll come back by the camera and I'll light up the tree from right here, maybe 10 feet away. This Petzel does have only one brightness setting, so what you're seeing is what you get. This is the only option you have. All right, so right now I have the Jobsmart on my head. This is an adjustable brightness headlamp. I can turn it up and I can turn it down. So we'll start on the lowest setting. I'll kind of show you the snow, light it up in front of you. We'll light up the tree. That's on the ground. And now I'll come stand back by the camera on the low setting and shine it over there. You might be noticing that this light is brighter on its lowest setting than the Petzel was on the high setting. And while that might seem like a good thing, it's actually got a much narrower beam than the Petzel. There's less spill out to the sides of the light, which makes for, the light is more concentrated, so it's brighter, but it's a less usable beam. You're looking at more of a almost like a targeted patch of light versus a broad spectrum of light. So as we turn this up, you can see there's the snow starting to blow out on the camera, it looks like a little bit. There's the tree lit up. And as I come back by the camera here, you're really going to be able to see the spot pattern of this light and how it kind of is a different beam pattern than the Petzel. All right, so now I've got the ThruNight on my head. They've got a firefly setting, which I can actually put on right here. And I don't even know if the camera's going to pick it up. Very low setting where I can see what's going on right in front of my hands, but it's not really casting any light out. Even a little bit of light, I can see what's going on around, but it's very dim. And this light will go for a very long time. If you're in a tent or a cabin or something like that, you don't need to worry about running down your battery. Your next step up is the light that you see right here. You can see the snow in front of me. You can see the tree lit up. It's throwing a good bit of light from standing next to the camera. You can see the light that it's throwing. It's not as bright as that Jobsmart one was. It's kind of on the same level as the Petzel, but it's got a great spill pattern. I can see what's right in front of me, but I can also see off to the sides. Now I'm going to cycle up through the brightness settings. There you have medium. The next one up from there. And then you have your brightest setting right here. This setting is virtually like a set of headlights on a car. It's very bright. There's great spill kind of all over the place. I can see what's going on off to the side of me. I can see the tree that I'd be working on out here. As I come back and stand next to the camera, you can see that there's a really great pattern of light. It's throwing a lot of light in all directions out in front of me. The middle is not too diffused. There's a great deal of light there, but I still have a bunch off to the sides that I can use and keep an eye on what's going on. You know, being that this light is so bright right now, they don't recommend that you use this setting for more than, I believe it's 10 minutes at a time, and you're going to kill the battery really quick anyway. So 9 times out of 10 with this light, you're going to be using your low, your medium, or your one step up from medium setting. And this is going to get you good longevity on your battery, but also enough light for you to actually work on things. Just to show you the spill patterns of these lights real quick, this is the ThruNight looking down the driveway, just straight down the driveway. This is the Jobsmart looking down the driveway, and you can see this is with that brightness turned all the way up, and you can see that spot pattern. It's definitely very targeted. And this is the Petzel where you can see, you know, it's just very dull compared to the other two. It's not very bright at all. There is a good spill pattern on the light. It definitely falls out to the sides, but this is really more for close-up work. And if you need a bunch of light, you're not going to get it out of the Petzel. Is the ThruNight perfect? I'm not sure I would say it's perfect. The two gripes I have with it, and the first is really not that big of a gripe, but it uses an 18650 battery. It does come with one, and it is USB rechargeable, where you can plug the flashlight into a USB port and it will charge the battery for you. But if you run out of battery juice, not everybody has 18650s laying around. They're they're a high output lithium ion battery, and they're not as common as say AA's or AAA's. So that's gripe one. The second gripe is that the head strap is not necessarily the best on the face of the planet. The way the strap is set up, it threads through the little rubber mount, and if you're wearing it for an extended period of time without a hat on like I am right now, it can dig into your forehead a little bit. It doesn't feel uncomfortable, but you just notice it. If you're wearing a hat like I usually do, right now I've got it turned backwards, but normally I'm wearing a hat with a bill on it and you don't even feel it at all. So if you're like me and you wear a hat a lot of the time, I wouldn't worry about that part of it. There are some fun other little features this thing has. Like I mentioned, it is USB rechargeable. You can just plug this thing in. It has a light up at the top here that glows blue to let you know the battery is still good. When the battery drops below a certain percentage, it'll switch to red, and then when it drops below 10%, it actually starts flashing red. Now, you'll see that if you take the headlamp off, but if you don't take the headlamp off your head, this part will actually flash while you're wearing it at some point to let you know, hey, my battery is getting low. And that's the point at which if you have another 18650 battery, you can just chuck it in there and keep trucking. or you've got to plug it in and charge it. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention, it comes out of this little thing. You can see actually, let me see if I can pull it out one-handed. Don't put aluminum flashlights in your mouth, guys. There we go. So there you go. It comes out of the head strap, and it comes with a clip that you can actually take, and if you don't like wearing it as a headlight, you can clip it to your lapel right there. You can clip it to a pocket, and being that it's a 90-degree flashlight like this, it will shine forward for you. So while I haven't had this thing for a super long time, admittedly, I've only used it for a week, I don't have any issues with it, and at 70 bucks, or what was it, 56 with the discount, I think it's totally worth picking up if you want something bright. I will leave a link to this flashlight down below in the description. I'll also leave a link to ThruNight's website so you can check it out there and learn a little bit more if you want. If for some reason after longer use this thing ends up crapping out on me, I'll put a link up in the corner to a new video where I'll talk about it. But until, if you're watching this video and there's no link in that upper corner there, then this thing's still trucking along for me and it's still working fine, and I'd still recommend it. And even if you don't pick up a flashlight like this TH30 from ThruNight here, hopefully this video shed some light on the fact that there are better headlamp options out there than the crappy department store ones that you see, or the ones that seem a little bit overpriced from the outdoor sports companies. There are options out there for you to get more light for maybe just a little bit more than you've been paying for the cheaper headlights out there. And maybe this will inspire you to pick one up. Thanks for watching the video, everybody. I hope you're having a great day and that you're doing well. Bye.